when you are upbringing your child. ऐसा नहीं होता अभी तो बहुत छोटा है समझेगा नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होता. Child is very intelligent. I tell you, they are so smart. इतने smart आप भी नहीं.
Have you ever wondered how important social connection is in your life? For most people, they focus on following a balanced diet, getting enough sleep, exercising regularly, and having regular checkups with the doctor. As long as we do all these, we think that we are already caring for ourselves adequately. But did you know that social connection is just as important to keep yourself healthy and happy? Hello and welcome to the Honest Talk by Freak Folks. I'm Harsh Pandey. For this particular session, our guest will be Miss Swarleen Kaur ma'am, who is here with us, and she is going to answer all these questions for all of us. Backed by 18 years of experience, she is a passionate and devoted youth personality development coach and trainer, international speaker, and author. She is also the founder director of the Talk Room. So, first of all, ma'am, I welcome you to in this session. Thank you so much for joining and agreeing to share your thoughts with us.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
So moving to the topic of today's session, which we have chosen is the importance of social connection and why you need it in your life. Ma'am, my very first question to you is how do you define social connection in your terms? And if we talk in this new normal, how actually it has changed?
Okay. So, first thing is social connection. It absolutely starts from the word social, which gives us the meaning. It's all about living in harmony with a group of people, right? If we go back to the times when we were nomads, we were all alone, hunting for food, hunting. It was all separate. When a human, got this power to understand that together we can grow, together we can go, together we can make things happen. This is where society started to form, and it is in the harmony of all human, entire human race, where we think that social life is one place where we can make the most of it, because as much as people we know, we need different kinds of people. The more we meet, the more we get likeness and fondness towards it, and the more the harmony and the health and the kind of structure that we need to make ourselves to make visible and viable becomes effective. Yes, in today's scenario where we are talking about social distancing, I don't call it as social distancing, I call it as physical distancing. Socially, we are all
Correct.
together. Virtually, if we are sitting, we are connected with each other, we are socially connected. So we are not doing any kind of a social distancing rather than doing a physical distancing, wherein that means the emotions are the same, the intentions are the same, and we are still, the more we harmonize our togetherness, the more we sit and think back of the times how we came together and what was the purpose behind it. I think we resolve all the problems and look forward to getting into a
Absolutely.
community. That is our social stick.
As we have in this pandemic, we are ongoing this pandemic. We have seen that we are now very much influenced from these all social media platforms, and our life has been digitalized, tracked, and tied up in the matrices. Our real selves have split into online avatars and profile pictures and status update. A virtual life is sunny and bright. It's where you post your prettiest picture and tell you all your best news. But is it real? Most importantly, is it healthy?
All right, that's a wonderful question. I must compliment you for that. See, it's a debatable question. Virtual life is not absolutely what the real life looks like. It's just the same difference between the real life and the real life. A couple that is posing very happily may not be very happy couple, to be very honest, no offenses to anyone. Or a person showing most of his achievements and accolades might not be the same in life as it seems to be. most of the blogs or the articles written by many of us, including me, we may not be the same how we judge people. So it is towards, no offense to anyone, but yes, there is a lot of difference between how actually the real life seems to be on Instagram today. It's always not that happy. People are suffering at their own ends, but I strongly talk about, show the reality, tell the reality. If it was like a few days back only, when I was tested COVID positive, another 10, 12 days back, I did a video with one of my friend, and people were like, are you crazy? People are hiding it that, don't put up on the social medias that you are COVID patient. People are going to stop coming to. I said, it's okay. I mean, if I have been uploading the happy front of what I am, why not how I am facing my difficult times, how I am facing that challenge? But again, it's a taboo. Rather than being 24/7 involved in how many likes I've got, what is my profile picture saying, is it actually fake, is it photoshopped? Let's stick to the originality. Let's stick it to something that's real. I might have a friend connection of maybe 5,000 friends in the Facebook and rest another 900 friend requests pending. What is the fun if there is nobody in support of when I need that? Where is that social media helping me? But it is not always the same also. There have been times that people have come up, oh, we saw you on Facebook, do you need something? There are that kind of people. So it is a balance that we've got to create, and we've got to tell where to distance, where to socialize, how much to do. Everything in a balance makes a common strength. So why not be balanced? That is my time for Facebook, rather than sitting on Instagram, Facebook the whole day out. We're wasting our energies. It takes a lot of energy. I mean, when you sit with a phone on the social media on, you never know, 1.5 2 hours are gone. So you feel, oh god, that much time is gone or wasted. So it is that the time has to be managed, your thought process has to be managed, and definitely have to be very cautious about what you are reading. What is that tell yourself, let your thoughts read it, is it actually a fake thing or a fact? You've got to be real balanced when you talk about social media.
Indeed, ma'am, you have shared your own example, and I'm sure it is going to inspire many of our viewers. And if we especially talk about children, most of us choose to expose their children and teenagers to the internet and social media at a young age, which can result in a tragic outcome. We all are aware of the many dangers lurking on the internet, one of which is cyberbullying, on top of the discrimination and harassment and prevail on the internet, especially on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Sometimes cyberbullying and harassment become so unbearable that people choose to take their own life, while minors
Yeah.
and teenagers are the most vulnerable group in this regard. What are your suggestion on this?
Again, it's a lovely question. I definitely want to answer this question, and I must tell you, this is one of the most debatable questions again. Children are so much under the peer pressure. Children are so much under the societal pressure that if they are not using the Facebook, if they are not using Instagram or any other social media handle, not to name, uh, the friends will bully them. Oh, come on, your parents will not let you do that. Are you that out on the traditional times, or are you so reserved? Are you conserved? Are you afraid of? Such comments start coming up. So, the child feels that much pressure and says, all right, I'll create an account. For the first few days, this has happened with many of my students and my clients. The number of teenagers that, the parents bring to us, they have faced it. So they are under so much pressure. They are, so much oppressed that they just go and open their accounts. Slowly and gradually, what happens is they become addicted towards it. Now this teenage is one age. I read somewhere a poem that called, am I an adult or a child? So the child is already into that controversy, that am I an adult or a child, and he's not able to make some decisions that are actually required to do at that certain time of age. Maybe, if a friend is telling, this is the group that we formed, there are unknown people, they are accepting the request. Nowadays, one of my client comes and tells me, now the race between the friends was who has how many followers. I couldn't believe this, right? Or how many celebrities are following you on Instagram. I mean, is this the kind of a race? I told them, I explained them, there are fake IDs. But I actually understood this when it came on to me, when my teenager daughter comes and tell me, Mama, my friends are telling me to get onto the Instagram. Everybody's there. So what do I do? I was quiet for a moment, and then I asked her. I said, "Do you want me to be there in your account also?" She said, "Yeah, of course." I said, "All right, let's make it together." I understand. I mean, I can't pull her away and you won't believe, Harsh. In another 10-15 minutes, we had made that Instagram. The kind of request she got, it was like 80, 90. I was, oh my God, even I don't have so many followers, Ashman. How do you manage it? How will you manage it? She says, no, they are all my friends, they're all my classmates. And she accepted them. I said, don't accept the outsiders whom you don't know. There is so much bullying, there is so much crime happening. We get to know so much about it on the social medias, on the newspapers, on the TVs. Cyberbullying crimes have increased many-fold rather than more than the physical crime, because everybody is distancing these days. You have to tell your child the limits of using the social media. You can't be doing helicopter parenting always, but you have to tell the child these are the do's and the don'ts. Of course, there are times when a child will not listen to you because a child is living in his own cocoons, in his own comfort zone. But make sure that you are so attentive without letting the child know, because again and again, if you will go to him and keep on checking the phone, it will offend him or her. Not doing that, rather than keeping a stance on who the friends are, where the child is talking, you have to monitor it. There's no other way of being friendly to a child. The more you communicate with your child, the more friendly you are with your child. Now there is a myth, that uh, there is a difference between being a friend and a parent. Of course, I said, if you can't be completely a friend, you have to be a friendly parent. Communication is the only bridge that will gap that connection. If you have given that space to your child, god forbid anything wrong happens, before a child thinks of taking his or her life away, he will come and talk to you. If you have given that comfort zone to your child, and the child is feeling secured and comfortable enough that I can go and talk to my parents about this has happened to me. So at least make yourself available, communicate with them, keep on telling them about the do's and don'ts, keep on showing them that this is happening. It is important sometimes to show the real face of the world to the child. It is very important. So these little tips, we have to follow to make sure that our child is protected also.
Indeed, ma'am. Again, you have shared many important things, and perhaps I think I can say that it was a great example you have given. Ma'am, one more question which comes here is that society has molded us into a narrow one-dimension way of thinking because we were raised to believe that the only way to prosperity and way to choose a career path and work our way up to that ladder. Don't you think you were encouraged to chase money, job titles, but never pushed to evaluate and consider what we want actual do in our life?
See, there has been a number of discrimination. There have been a number of discrimination views on this. Choosing the traditional path of what we want our children to be, right? If I heard the question right, that's the question, that what we want them to be and what is the other view of side.
Correct.
That's right. Yeah. So if I talk about what we wanted to be, what if our parents would have not supported us? Children will always look up to you, the youth will always look up to you if you step into their shoes. They have their own world. This you have to believe in, that they live in their own zone, their own comfort zone, their own cocoons. You have to enter that zone. You have to make sure that you are a part of them. And how will you enter their shoe? Getting empathetic with them. Please try to understand that the youth is going through a number of his own problems. Problems are not only with the parents. even a child, even a youth undergoes a number of, there's a societal pressure, there's a pressure regarding studies, there is a pressure from the peers, there's a parent pressure, there is a pressure from home. I mean, even the child is, he's incubated, like, what am I supposed to do? His path does not become clear. And by good luck, if your child has already decided of this is what he's trying to do, or if he thought of what he wants to become, give him one chance at least. Don't try to stand, oppose, a child. Now, there was a beautiful incident when my client comes to the office and tells me that my child wants to become a musician. You tell me, is there any scope for it? I don't want him to. I want him to be an engineer, and he's always playing his own guitar. I said, okay, give him a chance. So a parent was a little, arrogant. He says, you are actually telling me to let him live his life. ये तो ये वही बात हुई, जा सिमरन जा जी ले अपनी जिंदगी. So I laughed a little. I said, no, I am not telling you to let the child go the way he wants to, but let him learn. Says learning में तो इसकी उम्र निकल जाएगी. I said, let him. There is no age for learning. Whenever we want to make a comeback, we can do it. It is all in the spirits. At least give your child some time and tell him, you prove us in this time, or it's okay. We give you your stance. You can go with both the things, right? And let's see what serves you better. Or if you are too adamant that you don't want to get into this, let's see how it works for you. But at least give him that child, don't a chance. Don't kill that self-confidence of your child. This way also, so many students in the engineering colleges, in the medical colleges, under the pressure, do attempt suicides. And it's so common, and it's almost there in the newspapers. When the board results are out, we see the rise in the suicidal cases. Why? Just that rote learning, just that procedure of a one exam can make your child or mar your child. That's not done. You've got to be a support. You've got to be that solid rock support system of that child, and tell him it's okay. If you want to pursue something, there are so many things that the child has to do, rather than only being, conservative about the 5 or 6 fields that we have chosen for our child because they were the same when we were young. That's not going to work. A child has so much to explore these days. Even a little child thinks of, there's a child in class tells who says, I want to become the richest entrepreneur of the country. So I said, oh wow. And his father comes and tells me, ma'am, आप क्या इसको वाव वाव करते रहते हो? ये ऐसे थोड़ी होता है. I am a very middle class person. My son, why do you have to say all this? Give him wings. No, give him wings. And if he goes wrong, you're always there to support him and pull him back. So it has to be your modesty, your humility, how much you are acting into it. And you have to nurture these thoughts well in time when you're upbringing your child. ऐसा नहीं होता, अभी तो बहुत छोटा है, समझेगा नहीं. ऐसा नहीं होता. Child is very intelligent. I tell you, they are so smart. इतने smart आप भी नहीं हो.
Correct.
When we came on this, online media and everything happening online, my son used to come and tell me, "अरे आपको Zoom का ये feature भी नहीं आता, ये भी नहीं आता." Now my teenager son taught me कि इसको ऐसे use करो. So you should be happy about it. They are so much aware. Today's youth is so much aware. If you have given him that upbringing, so let him flourish.
Correct, ma'am. And what I have seen is that, and my personal observations is that if we compare parents of today's generation in compare with 90s parents, then parents are now understanding and giving their child a liberty to do whatever. Suppose that if their child wants to become a YouTuber, if they want to create an Instagram meme page, then they are letting them to do. And I think that is the best part. We will the first generation that will not produce only engineers and doctors, but also produce the people in different fields.
Yes.
Ma'am, also my next question to you is, if you are talking about this STEM suicide, I'm sure it is not very much similar to topic what we have chosen, but we have reached to this point, so I'm raising it. India has one of the world's highest suicide rates amongst youth. According to ASSOCHAM survey, 72% of the students in India don't know how to handle pressure. Why is suicide so common among school and colleges students?
You've, I think, given yourself the answer, because the children in India are not taught how to take the pressure. Those unnecessary pressures that we levy on the students, on the youth, is one of the basic concern. आपको पता है इंडिया की सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम हमारे कंट्री में क्या हो जाती है? सबसे बड़ा रोग क्या कहेंगे लोग?
Correct.
मेहता जी का बेटा इतना मार्क्स लेकर आया, एंड उनका बेटी इतनी मार्क्स लेकर आई. व्हाट हैव यू टू डू विद दैट? Why do you want to pressurize the child right in the beginning? When somebody comes at our home, we make the child a puppet. Chalo beta, dance karke dikhao, chalo. That's okay. Let the child show it herself or himself rather than imposing. It's okay if the child follows it and is in a passion of he'll do it. But if he doesn't like it, there are some children who are introvert, there are some children who are extrovert. Why do we start building up the pressure right at the small age? या आपको ये लिखना आता ही है? अगर बच्चा आपका एजुकेशन में अच्छा नहीं है, इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि बच्चा इज नॉट गुड. द चाइल्ड मस्ट बी गुड एट समथिंग एल्स. Why do we have to build up a pressure against this, that you have to? The pressure is not somewhere when a child becomes an adult or a youth. In fact, the pressure is right from the start. You've got to get this much percentage, you've got to get this much of marks. Why are we so much concentrating on the rote learning aspects rather than giving them a free area? Like, I love the NEP concept that has come up in the schools. Now it talks about so much skills, creativity. It talks about so many things that a child can do. So it's just like, a child has an unlimited choice. What will it do? It will increase the entrepreneurs in the country. It will increase the creativity of the country. It will increase the manufacturing in the country. It will increase the genius minds. It will increase the scientists. It will increase the photographers. It will definitely give a bounce to every field. In fact, wherever we are lacking, there also. So, I mean, things are changing. The patterns are being observed. We are moving towards the international standards. So, why do we have to pressurize our children so that a child, if he or she has not, and there are so many parents those say that I never pressurized the child, but he himself or herself was under so much pressure that he took this step. It is not about only the parents, it is not only about the school, it is about the entire influence I'm talking about. Whether it is a school, whether it is society, whether it is home, we have to give our child a balanced life, wherein we tell him that it's okay to fail. And I can swear on it, it's okay to fail. Why? Because failures are the stepping stones. एक बार if he will fail, don't worry, he will get up on his own, he will gather his own pieces, he will try to move ahead. Let him fail once, that's okay. Now that does not mean कि मैं ये कह रही हूँ कि बच्चा पढ़ नहीं रहा है तो उसको क्लास में फेल होने दो. Don't misinterpret me for that. It is failing, I tell you. If a child is not listening to you, let him do once. He'll understand what is right and what is wrong for me. A child will very clearly understand rather than pressurizing him that this is not good. Some things are taught very well with the experiences. So let some experiences speak in front of the child.
Correct, ma'am. I think you have mentioned a very great point. And which is also we have seen a movie called Chishore. In that movie, they have coined the term that everybody has plan after the success. They have dreams, they have everything, but nobody wants to talk about the failure. What they will do after if they get failed. I think this is we need to understand, and we are in this generation. We are talking about the mental health and all, so we need to understand this also. Ma'am, I can say there's a lot more to learn from you, but today I don't want to take you much time. So, moving my last question of this session, which is of course related to the topic of this session. What other tips would you like to give to all the viewers who are watching, how they can improve social connection in this new normal?
Okay. So social connections, definitely. See, I told you social media is one place where you can connect well. Be a little aware of, set your timings, explore as much as you can. Because the more there are so many number of communities working for one or the other end, maybe towards creativity, towards studies, towards your entrepreneurial services, there are so many communities built up these days. Join some communities that will help you create that social connection for yourself, and then you find yourself where you can place yourself very comfortably. Everybody has his or her own comfort zone. The more you share, the more you talk about, the more you interact, increases your social awareness, increases your social connections. If you're an entrepreneur, or if you're a person who's working for some IT company, or a professional network, that is LinkedIn, helps so much to get into good social connects, where we are thoroughly professional and we seek for professional help. If we are looking out for a community help wherein we can be just ourselves, just talk, just the common factors that we have, we can discuss about that. Join some communities wherein you feel that you are in peace and in solace. So these kind of activities really help us a lot to groom better, to connect better. And because, see, we can't be physically moving out anywhere these days looking at the these kind of questions, but definitely we can make sure that we are doing our best so that we are together in this time also. The more we build our connections, the more the feeling of togetherness and being wanted prevails in us.
Indeed, ma'am. Again, it was a very wonderful message, and I must say thank you so much for joining and giving your important time. We look forward to conduct more such sessions with you in future. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
On the ground is where I stand. Never give up, that was always the plan. It's so cold outside.